In the sanctity of her blue and white bedroom, Daisy tossed her handbag onto the button-back chair, upholstered in toile de jouy, a theme repeated in the matching wallpaper and curtains. She slipped off her navy blue linen coat, noting with a frown that several of the buttons were missing, which must have happened when a burly police officer made a grab for her. It would be difficult to explain that away if it came to her mother's notice.
"Well, I'm waiting."
Beatrice flung herself down on the bed, folding her arms across her chest, as if prepared to remain there until her sister broke down and confessed all. Daisy took her shoes off and examined the broken heel.
"I hope the cobbler can fix it. This was a new pair and ridiculously expensive." "Never mind the silly old shoe. Tell me what happened."
"We were demonstrating in Oxford Street, if you must know. Then the police arrived, and some of the women were arrested, but I managed to make a dash for it and jumped on a bus."
"Looks like you had a tussle with someone. Was he handsome?"
"Don't be silly, Bee. I'll be in terrible trouble if Father finds out."
"It'll be all over the front pages of the newspapers by morning," Beatrice said, grinning. "I wonder if there'll be photos too."
"Oh God, I hope not." Daisy shivered as she stripped off her cream shantung afternoon gown. The hem was torn where she'd snagged it with her heel as she leapt onto the bus. It would need some skill to make a repair invisible to Mother's eagle eye, and the dress was almost new. Daisy sighed. She'd spent almost all her clothes allowance, and she dare not ask Father for more.
"You'll be infamous," Beatrice said smugly. "The Honourable Rupert won't pop the question if he finds out that you're a suffragette."
Daisy opened the wardrobe and took out the first gown that came to hand. It was a shade of Reseda that she didn't particularly like, but it complimented her green eyes, or so she'd been told on numerous occasions by ardent admirers. She slipped the cool silk over her head.
"Do me up, please, Bee."
Obligingly, Beatrice jumped up and tugged the material together.
"Breathe in. Ouch! You pinched me. You're such a sissy. How would you get on if you had to go to prison and be force-fed?"
"I'm not that brave. I support the cause with all my heart, but I'm a dreadful coward when it comes to violence of any sort."
"I think I'd be terribly courageous," Beatrice said dreamily. "I'd be a real heroine, if only I believed in all that stuff, which I don't."
Daisy twisted her head round to stare at her in amazement. "Don't you want women to get the vote?"
"I don't really care one way or the other. Politics is boring, and politicians are ugly old men with beards and dull voices."
She gave Daisy a gentle push.
"There you are, all done up. Perhaps you'd better go and see what Mother wants. It's probably something to do with your birthday party."
Daisy hurried to the dressing table and picked up a hairbrush. "I'm heartily sick of the whole thing. I'd much rather have a quiet family dinner than a big do for my 21st. She began brushing her hair, wincing as the bristles became caught in the thick tangle of dark curls. Beatrice moved swiftly to take the brush from her.
"Let me do it. You're all fingers and thumbs. Perhaps it's the shock of coming so close to being arrested. What would Father say if he had to go to a police station and bail you out?"
"Don't," Daisy groaned. "I can't bear to think of it."
"Well, dear, if you will live dangerously, you must face the consequences."
Beatrice coiled her sister's hair into an elegant chignon at the nape of her neck, fixing it with hairpins and a tortoiseshell comb.
"How's that? Aren't I a clever girl?"
She snatched a silver-backed mirror from the dressing table and held it so that Daisy could see the full effect of her coiffure.
"Yes," Daisy said, smiling. "You would make a wonderful lady's maid."
Beatrice replaced the mirror with a thud.
"If I were a fugitive from the law like you, I'd be careful not to annoy my sister in case she decided to turn me in."
"You wouldn't really." Daisy rose from the stool and gave her a hug.
"It all depends upon how I'm treated. Be nice to me or I'll tell Mother, and that would be 1,000 times more frightening than ending up in Bow Street."
"I suppose I'd better go downstairs and face the Inquisition." Checking her appearance in the cheval mirror, Daisy frowned. "I look a bit peaky. Do you think they'll notice?" Beatrice shook her head.
"It doesn't matter if they do. Mother and her generation is so old-fashioned."